And there I was. I was the girl from Suits.
This one's wife. Rictus Grin has to be papped. Such a narcissist. Hi there. Do you feel a nagging itch that you cannot seem to scratch? Is there a gaping hole to feed? Does attention going elsewhere make you feel sick, or creates a fury in the bowels of your innards? Maybe one of your relatives is unwell, and everybody is being supportive towards them. Maybe your husband has gone off to see his unwell father, stealing the headlines. Maybe your nemesis has recently been in hospital, and she's received an outpouring of warmth and affection. Have you just broken some crockery, punched a hole in a door, or screamed like a banshee? Thought so. Then you need Rictus Grin Pap support. Yes, by dialing 1-800-BACK-GRID, we will supply you with a Rictus Grin to slap on your Ozempic addled face to give the impression you're living life to the full. And our photographers will be on hand in a matter of moments to capture your gurning glory, to then manure the pictures all over the media. Why not get papped in a parking lot? Or get papped pretend hiking? Or get papped near real-life A-listers unlike you? Or get papped driving an eco-hypocrisy SUV? Yes, dial 1-800-BACK-GRID and ensure your insatiable need for attention gets the attention it deserves. Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. With her usual, predictable, pathetic, puerile response, the narcissist that is this one's wife has demonstrated yet again quite clearly what she is. As the world expresses its concern, sympathy and support for King Charles, as Harry makes a dash across the ocean and then dashes back, it was only a question of time before this one's wife tried to make it all about her. We know that she is pathetic. We know that she cannot stand for the attention to be anywhere else. As a mealy-mouthed, cowardly, mid-range narcissist, the fact that Harry's being spoken about, Catherine's being spoken about, William is being spoken about, Charles is being spoken about, infuriates her. You can picture her stamping a cloven hoof, cigarette perhaps hanging from mouth, hair all over the place as she shrieks, "They keep talking about them and not me!" and then flings another cup at the wall as Archie runs for cover, and the nanny scoops up Lilibet to take her away from the harridan. It eats away at her that the attention is elsewhere. That gaping hole that needs to be fed becomes all the bigger. That nagging itch needs scratching. She doesn't understand what it is. She doesn't know. But all that she does know is that she can't stand the attention being elsewhere. And therefore her narcissism motivates her to do something about it. And thus, we all knew, it was going to happen, and it came to pass. But such is the pathetic nature of this woman. Not only does she have to jump up and down and go, "See me, I'm over here, I'm over here," but when she does it, it's not anything meaningful. Taylor Swift, for instance, won her 4th Grammy. She's lapping up all of the fuel. And she then gets further by dropping in that she's got a new album coming out in April. Self-promotion. But it's an actual product. something that her talent has created. There are other narcissists that will bring the attention back onto them with the launch of a new product, with a new album, with a new film coming out, with perhaps making an appearance somewhere and doing something actually meaningful. But this one's wife is so useless, so lazy, that she can't even do that, but she has to ensure that the world exclusive event is, yes, she drives a car. Unlike billions of other people who've done exactly the same thing that day, her driving of the car must enter the news. And of course, the photographs are taken by Backgrid, and there she is with that idiotic Rictus Grin, sat wearing a baseball cap, sunglasses on, driving a car, making sure that she is seen. Who ordinarily drives along smiling to themselves? Well, perhaps if you've received some good news or you're feeling good about yourself, you might just do that. It's a possibility. But we know with this one's wife, that smile, that Rictus Grin is as a consequence of the fact that she sees herself being photographed, which gives her the fuel, she's being acknowledged, and she also has the thought fuel, namely, she's contemplating people reading about it, and it makes her feel important. It makes her feel more secure in the world that she knows that she's going to be written about and spoken about. Of course, what she doesn't contemplate is much of the commentary will be critical of her, taking the piss out of her pathetic attempts to be noticed. But when she's driving that car, her narcissism is causing her to feel rather pleased with herself as she's receiving the fuel, part of the prime aims. And of course, irrespective of the fact that she set it up herself, that doesn't matter. She's being acknowledged because, remember, everything she does in her world is an event. The Mail reported, this one's wife has been seen for the first time since Prince Harry dashed to meet with his cancer-stricken father, King Charles. The Duchess of Sussex flashed a smile as she drove around near her $14 million Montecchio home. You know, I wouldn't put it past her just to have got in the car, driven around the block a few times, then gone home. She's got nowhere to go. Nobody's interested in her. She hasn't got a job. She doesn't have any meetings. This one's wife looked relaxed from behind the wheel of her Range Rover in a baseball cap and dark oversized sunglasses, and sipped from a coffee mug as she drove along. Her appearance on Wednesday was the first time she had been publicly photographed since Prince Harry jetted off to London to visit his ailing father. Where's the message of support from this one's wife to King Charles? There isn't one. Why didn't she go to London to show support? Well, we know why. Her narcissism prevented her from doing so. How about contacting your father? He's not very well. Why not go and do that rather than being papped? Of course, as I've explained to you, that doesn't serve any purpose. Her narcissism decrees. Remember, she's got no emotional empathy. She's not got any obligation, any sense of obligation to support her father. Her father can be controlled by having nothing to do with him. His fuel isn't needed, nor his character traits or his residual benefits. Therefore, her narcissism, and this gets to the crux of the matter, demonstrates that it regards her clambering in a car and driving around and being photographed with a stupid Rictus Grin on her stupid face more important than contacting her father. That's where her narcissism leads her to. That is the empty, vacuous, emotionally empathy-free woman that this one's wife is. Thus, rather than keep a low profile, rather than staying out of the way, she has to ensure that she's seen. She has to ensure that she's spotted driving around. And the world press then provides photographs of this and reports on it. Wow, well done, you drove a car. But it is entirely to be expected from the narcissist that is this one's wife. Let's have a look at some of the reaction below the line to this report. Russian mom, she always has that Rictus Grin on her face. So creepy. Indeed, it's as a consequence of the reaction to the fuel that she receives. Tiara, her own father and father-in-law are both ill, yet all she can do is grin for the paparazzi she paid for. Indeed. All sense is gone. I can't stand her. Shearer, she's revolting. Jennifer J, she really is awful. Moxie to Runway Vintage, is she literally showing us that despite not being invited to come along to see the king, she too is, quote, important enough to have a rover and security? And with that ridiculously odd grin, I have never known anyone quite so unable to read a room. Wow. Well, it is the case that she isn't able to read the room, but she doesn't actually care about it, because what matters to her is the control and the fuel. She gets the spotlight despite remaining at home. The narcissism has done its job. Just Steph, of course she had to be out and about with the photographers. Everyone expected it. Pearls Aminga, no kids again Markle. Deb Annie, she's never seen a camera that didn't make her happy. Down in ATL, she's not breaking cover. She called the Paps, like she always does, to catch, inverted commas, her driving around smiling. She's sending a message. Raspberry Girl, she can't bear Harry to be in the headlines without making sure she is there too. We don't see her for weeks sometimes, but as soon as he's out of town, she breaks cover. Ian H, oh yes, what a radiant and heartwarming smile. Is there any thought behind it? Badger fan, she has no concern for her father. Why would she care for her father-in-law? She has no concern for anybody. She's a narcissist. All that matters is this one's wife. So there you have it. The Rictus Grin and backgrid, ensuring that this one's wife pursues the prime aims. But of course, so many people now realise precisely what she's about, and it ultimately becomes self-defeating. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.